The Moza R3 has to be the best deal in sim racing right now, and maybe the best deal we've ever seen. Now that's massive hyperbole, but I want to know your honest thoughts on this, because what I'm going to explain to you is the current pricing on the Moza R3, why I think Moza are doing it, how it compares on a pricing perspective with the competition, and then why I think it's the best deal that we've ever had in sim racing. Particularly if you look at my PC here, there's a lot of components in this PC that have got very expensive in the last year. They keep getting more expensive, storage, graphic cards, RAM, etc. But the price on this has just come down. So this is the Moza R3, also comes with the SRP light pedals, you know the style. They're not the best pedals in the world, but they are like a solid metallic-esque pedals. It comes with this rim here, and it comes with this base. The base, I just think, is like such an insanely cute and like portable base. Like you can put this in your backpack and take it with you to like university or school. It's like this reminds me of like old school like LAN gaming. Like this actually reminds me of the original Xbox in a way. So it comes with this base, which is a 3.9 Newton meter base. So I'm surprised that they didn't call it the R4, but they call it the R3. Obviously, it has Moza's quick release system on it, so you can use any rims in Moza's ecosystem. One of the strongest points about Moza, I think everyone would accept, is that there's so much choice in the rim ecosystem. This is what they've really pioneered. You know, I would say Fanatec started this, but Moza really took it to the next level. And the rim it comes bundled with is not a bad rim. This is not a terrible rim by any stretch of the imagination. It's got the brushed aluminium style. If you've got the Xbox variant, it's got the face buttons here. The shifters aren't terrible. Like, it's got decent shifters, and it has that all-important Moza quick release. And this variant here is actually $319 at the moment, and it works on Xbox, but there is a PC-only version. I can't believe the pricing is $259, which is kind of insane when you think that a Logitech G923 comes in at about $300, sometimes it gets cheaper, and a Thrustmaster T248R comes in at about $350. Like, this is cheaper than those and is a much newer functionality. If I show you the back, by the way, of the Moza R3, you can see like how it's just ready for a ton of expansion, like with the shifters and your brakes and your handbrakes and all that kind of stuff. Like, it's just ready. And when you buy a Moza R3, you are entering a ecosystem where you can be like, after a few months, you could, and this is like, really think about what I'm saying here. Let's say you've watched Formula One on TV, or you've watched my YouTube channel, other YouTubers. You want to get involved in racing games at higher levels, so you want to have a steering wheel and a wheelbase and pedals. You don't want to be on a controller. Okay, $250, $259 is, I wouldn't say it's impulse for most people, but I'd say it's kind of cheap enough. Given that you can sell it on the used market afterwards, you're not going to lose a load of money on that at all, I would say. Now, if you buy that and you love it and you're driving on whatever it is, you know, iRacing or ACC or Forza Horizon or whatever it is, okay, and you love it, but you want to have a bit more power, you can sense that in the corners, you know, you can overpower the wheel and you want the wheel to really give you more resistance, you can upgrade the base to a, for example, Moza R9, which is $299. So for another $300, you can now get a really very, very, very solid mid-range wheelbase for 9 Newton meters. That's going to give you all of that resistance. Like, you know, if we take clipping out of the conversation for the moment, not dismissing it, but for the moment, 9 Newton meters is going to give you everything when it comes to kind of that resistance. So this is an upgradable system. Now, what I would actually do, probably, and it's, you know, this was a review unit a long time ago that Moza gave me, but if I'd bought this for $259, the big question for me is, would I upgrade first to a Moza R9 wheelbase, or would I get the Moza CRP2 load cell pedals that are often around a similar price? Now, I know that my head says I should get the load cells because that actually is where you'll find performance with braking by pressure, not just by distance. But there's something about having a more powerful wheelbase, right, that we can't explain, but we like to have more powerful wheelbases. But the interesting thing there is you have the option. You could obviously do both as well, and then you still keep your rim here. You could, you know, mod this rim yourself by taking off the, you know, it's already designed to be moddable. And in fact, we have a version that we've modded out with like making it wider. You can make it GT form factor as well. My point is that is this the best deal sim racing's ever had? Because I don't feel like, this is a very dangerous thing to say, I don't feel like you're going to regret buying this. Like, the issues will be if it's not supported in all of your games. So Forza Horizon 6, by the way, yeah, there's some funky stuff you need to do to get it work. You need to get it device one, which I shown on the channel. So that's going to be a bummer, to say the least. If you spend $259 on this and it doesn't work in Forza Horizon 6, that's not good. So software support, absolutely critical, and definitely got to do your research there. So, but if it does work in the games that you want it to work in, then for $259 to get a direct drive wheelbase, detachable rim, and pedals, and as part of a bigger ecosystem, because I also reviewed the PXN VD10 Ultra that on Amazon is $250, but that to me doesn't yet feel part of a bigger ecosystem. That detachable rim doesn't have the same quick release as PXN's other stuff. Like, that is not, it's a separate lower tier thing. This feels like it's genuinely part of the Moza family. So I don't know why this is not. By the way, if you do want to buy anything from Moza or any other brand, use my affiliate links in the description. And this is probably one of the videos that I've done the most, which is like, this actually does feel like a really good deal. Like I said, I just spotted it when I was comparing wheelbases around the $400 mark. But I just wonder why it's not more popular. And that's actually an interesting point. Is it because Moza doesn't have the brand recognition compared to, say, Logitech or Thrustmaster? Is it because this is not sold in retail as much as Logitech or Thrustmaster? Although I believe, for example, in the UK, this is in Argos now, which is a massive retailer, or at least used to be. You know, is it because there are issues with support on racing titles that you just don't want to risk? Is it because actually there's something that's complicated about buying a product that's like this, that it's just easier to buy off the shelf a G923 that's like one unit? I don't know. I strongly suspect the G923 sells more than the R3, even though I think for a lot of people, probably the R3 is a better wheelbase and solution and bundle. So let me know your thoughts in the comments. Do you think you have a handle on whether the R3 really is as good as it seems? Maybe there's issues that I haven't realized. Let me know. And also why it hasn't got that, like, it hasn't become a massive product. Like, I don't see R3s everywhere. I don't see people with setups often showing R3s. And is that a natural cap on like where we have in sim racing? Like, sim racing is not massive, or is it some other point with it? I'm very curious. So let me know what you think in the comments, and I'll see you in the next video.